Geno's Picks is filmed before a live studio audience, right? What's that? Okay, what we do during a recording is not ask questions. Do they get that? Do they get that? Geno's Picks is filmed before a couch full of people that like the Raiders this week. Here we go.
Play action fakes it to pass it in zone. Yes, touchdown.
Hi, and welcome to Geno's Picks, where after my second straight non-winning week, where Daddy saw himself go 2-2, my record has fallen to a ho-hum 3-5 over the past 2 weeks. But if you've been riding the Daddy train for the past 2 months, you're still making bank, as this choo-choo is 24-8 and making you coin 3 out of every 4 bets, meaning this train is bringing far more joy than any other this holiday season, including the Polar Express, especially when you consider the conductor on that train was Tom Hanks, meaning even if you got to this train late, you're still not getting fucked nearly as much by this conductor. He fucks kids. And at least this one is willing to admit that he fucked you the first month of the year. Not to mention, Daddy this is amazing, 36-24 on the year for an even 60% win rate against the Vegas spread, which old Italian men are putting out. A spread that is far harder to beat than the far younger spread that's being laid out for Tom Hanks when they spread the kid's legs that he fucks. Am I still on YouTube? Anyway, let's get to the picks. I love this one. This is cute. This is cute, okay? I can be cute. Watch. It's a family pick. My first pick, the Bengals are laying 1 hook in Pittsburgh on Saturday. Why don't you make some quick money to the Steelers, by the way? Why don't you make some quick money heading into your Sunday games? Because you're probably busy Christmas shopping if you're a last-minute zero like myself. And speaking of poor last-minute decisions, the Steelers decided to bench Mitch Trubisky and go with Mason Rudolph at quarterback on Saturday. Am I saying that's a bad decision because Mitch Trubisky is a good QB? No. I'm saying Mason Rudolph is a terrible one, and if you were to make a list of terrible decisions by Pittsburgh over the past few seasons, the only thing worse than drafting Rudolph would be thinking you could make people forget you did by burying him on the depth chart under Mitch Trubisky. Well, for what it's worth, it's fitting that Rudolph gets the start this Christmas week for what small amount of Steeler faithful are left, because anyone that believes someone named Rudolph is going to lead any team this time of year is living in a childhood fantasy. That's adorable. Oh, that joke's good for all the nigger children. Take the Bengals and lay the 1.5. My next pick, the Browns are giving 2 and hook to the Texans in Houston. As the famous country song goes, all my exes live in Texas. Well, they're about to get 11 more exes down there. As in the exes on Cleveland's fucking defense, which is the best I have seen in ages. So even though C.J. Stroud is not playing with a concussion, you know what's worse than a concussion, Steve? A case of the Keenums. And the only thing more scrambled than C.J. Stroud's brains will be fucking Case Keenum's legs for 4 hours as he is relentlessly hounded by the dog pounds Myles Garrett and company. And speaking of an old dog who needs no new tricks, that was cute. Joe Flacco gets more comfortable every fucking start, as evidenced by his clutch TD pass at the end of last week's game that looked like MVP Brian Sipe in 1980. Garrett, remember? Yep, you do. My money is on the visiting Browns, who, incidentally, I don't think will get a rude welcome, considering 45 Browns flying in from the north this weekend is nothing compared to the millions of Browns that have been sneaking in from the south into Texas over the past 3 years. I'm topical. It's a joke. Take the Browns and lay the 2 and a hook. My next pick, the Jags are getting 1 hook from the Bucs in Tampa Bay. Really? You have Baker Mayfield, who's been more exposed in more cities in the past few years than BLM? Really? You like him? Look, I believe in Christmas miracles as much as anyone this time of year, but I'll tell you what I don't believe in: fairies. And when it comes to NFL games that matter, there's no bigger pussy boy, not even Jared Goff, boys, than Mayfield. My God, never was that more obvious than his lone start last year in the final week, the season. Sometimes I don't spell check. Against the Rams, or that last-minute drive against the Texans this year. And yet people are willing to invest in this guy because the Bucs are the tallest midget in the circus that is the NFC South. Hard pass. The Jags play great in December, which is usually the time of, this is cute, which is usually the time of year Baker Mayfield sends out his Christmas cards, which doesn't take him that long. In fact, it takes him half the time to address the rest of us because he knows he won't be there in January and doesn't need to put a return address on any of his envelopes. Take the Jags, lay the one in the hook. Shall we get the fuck out of here before Christmas Eve? Fucking, are those reindeer I hear? No. Heroin addicts outside. Which brings me to my Double Your Monday Christmas night. God bless us everyone bet. The Bengals, that's not right. Oh. The Ravens are getting 5.5 from the Niners in San Fran. What don't you get about Lamar Jackson, the NFC? He plays them really well. So whether you think he's going to win this game to improve his record to 20-1 against the NFC or not, going into this game, if you haven't done the math already, he's won 95% of his starts against the NFC. Oh, and if you weird stat people, here's one you'll like even more. How about a higher percentage, like 100%? As in every underdog on Monday Night Football since November 13th has won 7 straight times. Make it 8, as this number 8, who I think is going to be in it the whole game, while you sit on your couch thinking of all the gifts you have to return. The good news is you won't have to worry about returning that ugly sweater of a Niners pick back to your bookie for a refund, because that money is made its way back to the North Pole. And by that I mean some Jersey strip club where a guy named Chris is crinkling it into a fishnet stocking of a ho-ho-ho. Come on! That is Geno's picks. Take the Ravens on the 5.5 you're getting. Merry Christmas and God bless us every bet. Boom. Buon Natale. A case of the Keenums. I gave you credit.